I wanted to go into the demo now, and as I promised, we're going to run you through the demo very quickly in a video, which we know works, and then I'm going to hand over to Marco, and he's going to run it live. So this little bit of background in a purple box was kindly donated to us by Hounslow Council, who was running a digital fair a couple weeks ago, and we were one of a short list of companies who were invited to present. And so it tells a story in a day in the life of. And in this situation, in this scenario, it's a guy called Brendan. He's been diagnosed with early stage dementia, but Hounslow Council come up with some clever ideas to enable him to continue living at home, which is what he really wants. But his daughter, in our scenario, taking that a little bit further, she notices that his post has got the wrong flat number. He used to just trot down to the common area and pick up his post. No, not a real problem. But now that he has dementia, she wants the post to be forwarded on to her, so she wants to get that corrected. Typical call center for a local council has depending on the size of the council, has 300 plus change of address requests. In any organization, the NHS would be facing the same. They typically require 6 to 10 minutes to process, depending on the number of IT systems where they change the address and the conversation with the individual, of course. So, you know, bare bones cost, just looking at unloaded agency salary, that's at least £9,000 a year. But the real cost in change of address is when people make a mistake. Because as humans, it's very hard for us to do mundane tasks and do them repetitively. We're just not wired for it. So simple tasks, quite often that we have to do over and over again, are the ones we make the most mistakes with. If it's a complex task, our brains tend to be more engaged. So when agents forget to update one system but forget to update another, all of a sudden we get variance in the addresses that we've got. So we've got a new address on one system, not on the other. That can easily cost 10 times the cost of the labor charges, with the rework that happens, lost letters, payment delays, legal fees, etc. So in our scenario, Brendan's daughter signed in through the website. She's already been authorized, been validated as Brenda because she went through her sign-in credentials. But she's been given a little PIN device, which she needs to input the data, the real-time PIN number that she gets sent into the website as she goes along to prove that she has authority to act for her father. Just before going into demo, I just wanted to set the scene. What we're going to show you is, and we ask you to use your imagination and think a bit broader than what we're showing you, but it's really it's a step toward zero-touch customer experience, where the chatbot chats, the chatbot speaks in very natural language to the customer or the patient or the resident, understands what the customer actually wants, and then kicks off the robot to go and do the work. When the robot finishes, it comes back and gives a status to the chatbot, who continues the conversation. And because the robots are so fast, this is happening in real time. So rather than having to fill a form in, or whether having to sit in a queue and wait on a call center agent, we can have multiple of these chatbots and robots running in parallel and giving a very fast response. So when we look at AI-powered chatbots, we really have the potential to potentially reduce call volumes in half, and to substantially improve first call resolution, particularly for the simple transactions that are very easy to deal with. So here's one I prepared for you earlier. So this is a recording that Marco made a few slides beforehand. So the scenario is Brendan's daughter is going to request a change of address. She's going to be speaking with a Drew chatbot, which is an AI-powered chatbot. And as Drew understands what it requests, it's going to ask the robot to do things. The robot would then access the social care system and the revenue and benefit system and change the address on both of the systems so that they match. What we're hoping we can help you to visualize is a fully automated change of address service. So we've taken humans completely out of this, allow them to focus on those higher value activities. But in the real world, I don't have a copy of Liquid Logic or Northgate Civica. They're quite expensive pieces of software. So we're going to use a proxy. We're going to use Amazon and Argos in their place, but the concepts are exactly the same. So on the left-hand side, you see Google in a little rectangular box. This is a terminal emulator, so it's showing what Marco sees on his mobile device. So we wanted to make it a bit sexy for you. He's going to use his mobile phone to go in and access the T-Impact website. From there, click a link, which starts up the chatbot, and all the conversation is happening via his mobile. On the right-hand side is the rest of his desktop. The blue box with a gold bar we've superimposed with the video, just as a little subscript for you. And in the orange and white box is actually showing you what's happening with the robot. We name our unattended robot Hector. So it's the work that Hector's actually doing. So there he's opened up a link and he's typing away, chatting with the chatbot. And I've watched Marco do this. He could phrase that any number of ways and it still understands. So it doesn't need to be taught every single variation. So here's the first time. I don't know if you saw the orange square pop up. This is the first time it's triggered a robot. So she's put in her PIN number. The robot's been called. It's looked that PIN number up in a database and told the chatbot, nope, that's not right. So the chatbot carries on the conversation. She's now entered 6691, which I happen to know is a correct PIN number. So the robot's triggered, the robot looks it up, finds that it's correct, and replies back. And the chatbot's now asking for the postcode, and the robot's gone away and pulled up all the valid addresses. And the chatbot's presenting it as a pick list. And so we just confirmed that they confirm you, okay, this is the address we're going to change. We're going to change it now. Are you happy for me to change the address? So we've got affirmation, and it's turned over to the robot who is now on the Argos website. So you can see it's changing all of the data. It's not picking and choosing. Every single bit of the address is being updated, and it's being cutting and pasting the data. So there's no chance that there's a transposed character or a data entry error. The data as retrieved from the golden source, which is where they looked up using the postcode, is being entered in. Oh, sorry. While I was talking, it did the Amazon as well. So now the chatbot goes on to ask if you'd like evidence, and when she says yes, we capture the email address. So she's entered Miss Smith, and the robot's being told, please send an email to Miss Smith to give her confirmation that her address has been changed. And you can see Marco's got a proxy set up so he can see her emails, and he's now showing the change of address. So what we showed you there was this is a technology that didn't require any interfaces of APIs. It signs into your IT systems and uses them as your staff would do. It can communicate with up to 40 languages, or more than 40 languages, and can also support voice-enabled instructions. It has the potential for aligning your front office and back office technology into a single, seamless customer journey, improving first contact resolution. In change of address alone, it could free 36,000 minutes of time for your staff to do more valuable activities and eliminate expensive mistakes. It leads to lost documents, payment delays, legal fees, and can also track and proactively communicate with residents. So with that, I'm going to hand over to Marco, who's now going to run that live, and hopefully it works as well as the video did.
Yes, hi everyone. Let me switch the sharing. Right, so as Keith explained, I have a similar setup but slightly different. So on the right-hand side, we have the it's an AWS Amazon EC2 instance that's handling our request as we spoke. And on the left-hand side, I'm again going to use the emulator, but since the recorded demo, we have on different channels, so I'll be presenting it using Microsoft Teams, which is a supported channel as well. And also we have included some other languages. In our case, we have Spanish at the moment, but obviously it can be extended to more. I'll use English just for ease of our presentation. As Kate's saying, we could phrase our request in many ways. And oops, sorry, my emulator is a bit. The training of the chatbot helps to understand most of the context that you would supply for it. So he would give us the next prompt and help us guide through the process, through the procedure. I would also go slightly different to what the original flow was, because there are different reactions that the chatbot will make and help guide you again through the right flow. And you can also converse with it so that you can carry on. And now it will take me again through the same validation that we've seen in the demo, which once it's recorded, it would move on to being processed by the robot. Hopefully, the connection is good. As it is the case always with live demos. For some reason, the robot doesn't get triggered. I'm sorry about that. There we go. Needed a bit of time. So the robot checks my code and confirms from the database. Okay, and as you can see here from the context, it actually recognized the name that I set for my father, or for the person I'm trying to ask this. So I'll put a postcode, which is what the chatbot is asking me to do. And again, the robot will go on and validate that and present me with a set of options that correspond with that answer. So we'll take one of them, and just the last confirmation before the robot undertakes the work. Oh, sorry. So as you see, when I confirm, the robot takes over, and it would work basically within a secure environment, as you would have any your agents or your council officers work to help make the request or handle the request by the residents. So in our case, obviously the robot is now following in modifying the information as requested. And as it goes, it also makes records. The little waiting on the screen is also to make the screenshots that you will see at the end that you could send to the requester. Similarly with Amazon.
Mark, are you supposed to have your camera on so they can see that you're not typing?
Yes, I was thinking exactly the same thing. And then it would leave the site as it would, so to make sure it's offline. Okay, so it informs me that it has done the change, and then it offers me the option to get the notification. So I will ask for that to be sent to me. I'm going to use my alias in this case as well. And I'll just close here the screen so you can see the robot trigger again. So again, the robot will trigger and connect effectively to an Outlook and then send it from from the server, from the robot server. And again, it will inform me that all actions have taken place. So if I move on now to my inbox, you'll notice I have one unread, which is sent by the robot, and I have the record of the change in both systems as we went through. So that completes the demonstration. Thank you again.
And amazingly, Marco, the address was the one that you gave the robot today.
Yes. Thanks.
Right.